Today we're making this easy and delicious 1-hour cinnamon swirl bread. Welcome y'all to Robin on the Farm. Y'all have let me know how much you love my 1-hour sandwich bread, and you've asked about turning it into a cinnamon bread. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. I am making 1-hour cinnamon bread, and it sounds too good to be true, but it isn't, and it is absolutely delicious. You are going to love this bread. Now, I'm going to make this recipe in cups and spoons, but down in the description, I'll leave a link to the printable recipe, and I'll also leave it in grams. I'm also gonna make 2 loaves of this bread today, but on the recipe, I'll also leave the recipe for 1 loaf if you'd rather do that. But I'm telling you, if you need to get on somebody's good side, go ahead and make 2 loaves of this bread, give it to them, and they are gonna love you forever for it. Okay, let's just get started. I'm gonna start with 2 cups of lukewarm water. You want this to be about 100 to 110 degrees. That's the perfect temperature for your yeast. Not too hot to kill it, not too cold to not activate it. So just go ahead and put that into your mixing bowl. Now I'm using my big Zacme mixer today, but you can use any stand mixer. You can make this by hand any way you want to do it. And our next ingredient is sugar. I'm going to use 1/4 cup of this white sugar, but you can also use honey if you'd rather do that, or maple syrup, monk fruit, whatever you want to use. But I'm going to use 1/4 cup of sugar right on into my mixing bowl. Now it's time for our yeast. I'm going to use this SAF instant yeast today, but you can also use active dry yeast, rapid rise, whatever you want to use. It'll work just fine in this recipe. So I want 1.5 tablespoons of this yeast. I store my yeast in the freezer. I get it out right in time to make bread. I don't let it come to room temperature or anything like that. And if you store your yeast in the freezer, it's going to last forever. So I definitely like to buy it in these big containers like this. It's way cheaper than buying it in those little packets or in those little jars that you see at the grocery store. This is way more economical. So I recommend buying your yeast in these big old packs like this. You can get it in 1 or 2 pound packs. Next, we want some butter. I've melted 2 tablespoons of salted butter in my cool little Lodge cast iron melting pot. This is my most used cast iron piece. I love this thing. But you can also use oil if you'd rather use 2 tablespoons of oil. But I'm using 2 tablespoons of melted butter. I'm just gonna pour it right on into my mixing bowl. And I just popped this on the stovetop, melted the butter really quickly. I used to make huge messes in my microwave from trying to melt the butter in my microwave. Not anymore. So I love this. And now it's time for the flour. Now I'm gonna use bread flour. I like bread flour the best when I'm making bread, but you can definitely use all-purpose flour. You don't wanna use self-rising flour though. So I'm gonna use 5 cups of this bread flour. I'm gonna put it right on into my mixing bowl. Now you might need up to 5.5 cups, but get started with 5 cups, and then as your dough mixes and kneads, you can always add a little bit more if you need it. But I'll show you exactly what it should look like so that you know what your dough should look like. But I'm gonna add 5 cups right on into my mixing bowl. I buy my flours in big 25-pound bags, and then I store it in these 5-gallon buckets, put these really great gamma tops on to seal them up, and the flour lasts really well, and it's really cheaper to buy your flour in bulk like that. So if you're gonna be doing a lot of baking, which I really recommend you should, then get it in these big bags, store it like this, and it works great to keep it in your pantry like that. And our very last ingredient for the dough is this salt. I'm gonna use 1.5 teaspoons of this Redmond's real salt. I love this for my baking, but you can use any salt. You can use plain old white iodized table salt. You can use the pink Himalayan sea salt, whatever you wanna use. But this stuff is cool because it's mined in North America and it's an ancient fine sea salt. So that's pretty neat. Now, definitely pour it over something else, not over your mixing bowl in case you over pour it. So you want 1.5 teaspoons and just put it right on into your mixing bowl with everything else. And those are all of our ingredients for our dough for our 1-hour cinnamon bread. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get this mixing and kneading. This is my brand new Zacme mixer. This is such an awesome mixer, but the coolest thing it has is this light that shines down into the mixing bowl so I can see my ingredients so well, and it's really, really cool. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and let this dough mix and knead for exactly 5 minutes. I will show you exactly what it should look like. You may have to add a little bit more flour if it's too wet, but I'll show you exactly what it should look like. The other cool thing this mixer has is a timer. I want this bread to knead for exactly 5 minutes, so I'm gonna set the timer for 5 minutes, turn it to speed 2, and in 5 minutes, this will stop kneading automatically. I'm checking on my dough and it's looking pretty good. It's sticking a little bit to the bottom of the mixing bowl, so I'm gonna add just about 1/8 of a cup more of flour. You don't wanna add too much flour because it can make your bread a little bit too dense. So you just wanna add just enough so that it's not too sticky so that you can handle it well. This is looking great now. So you want your dough to look about like this. The dough for our 1-hour cinnamon bread needed for exactly 5 minutes. So this is what you want your dough to look like. You want to be able to touch it, have it be tacky, but not too sticky to your hands. It looks really good. It's not too wet, not too dry. And you want to be able to kind of stretch it and have it stretch. That's a sign that your gluten is really well developed. So this looks great. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover up this dough with a warm wet tea towel in this same bowl and let it rise for exactly 20 minutes. While the dough is rising, it's time to go ahead and get our cinnamon and sugar mixture all mixed together so that it's ready in time to fill our dough. So for this mixture, I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of white sugar. Just put that right on in there. And I'm going to also use some light brown sugar. You can use dark brown sugar too if you want to, but I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of this brown sugar, a 1/4 cup packed. If you don't have any brown sugar, you can just use all white sugar. That works fine too, but I do like it with the brown sugar. And to our sugars, we're gonna add some cinnamon. I'm gonna use 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Now this is all to taste. You can definitely use a little bit more cinnamon if you want, or a little bit less. Either one is totally fine. And we're also gonna add some flour. And this flour is gonna act as a stabilizer. So it's gonna help keep our ingredients together. And it'll also keep the sugars from liquefying and being a little bit too wet in our dough as it bakes. So this is an important step. Definitely add the flour. This is just all-purpose flour, and I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon all-purpose flour right on in there with the sugars and the cinnamon. And that's all it is to the filling. I'm just gonna whisk this up and get this really well incorporated and all mixed together. And it's almost time to add this to our dough. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get my oven preheated to 350 degrees so that after we fill this dough, we can pop it in the bread pans and throw it in the oven to bake. The dough's been rising for exactly 20 minutes. We've got the filling made. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. Let's check out the dough. Oh, it looks fantastic. Look at this. That is what you want your dough to look like. That looks really good. Okay, even though it looks beautiful right now, I'm gonna go ahead and punch it down. So just punch your dough down, you can see that it deflates right away. Once you have it punched down, go ahead and turn it out from your mixing bowl. This dough looks really nice. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and divide this dough in half. Now you can use a scale if you wanna get it exactly right, but I'm just gonna divide it in half by sight, and that'll work just fine for me. So just press out your dough really well. You wanna get all those little air bubbles out of it. And I always try to make mine about as wide as my loaf pan is long. So that's looking really good. Now it's time for our filling. Now, to help the filling stick to our bread a little bit, you're gonna wanna coat this dough with something. And you have a couple options. You can just spray this with some water, brush it with some milk, but really the very best option is an egg wash. So today I'm gonna use this egg just because I'll get the very best results with it. But a lot of times when I'm in a hurry, I'll just spray this with a little bit of water. That's fine too. But an egg wash is just 1 egg, about a tablespoon of water, and then just whisk it up really well. And I'm just gonna brush this onto this dough. Now you may be tempted to use some melted butter, but the melted butter is not your best option. It is nice and rich, but it'll cause the layers between your bread and your filling to separate, and it'll give you those big gaps. So don't use the butter. I know it seems tempting, but don't do it. So water, milk, or an egg wash, those are your best options. And I'm just gonna brush this egg wash all over this dough. This is gonna act as the binder and help our filling adhere to the dough. You definitely don't wanna use all of it, you just wanna use a little bit. Just brush it on top, just a nice thin layer. Now, I'm gonna take our filling. I'm gonna use about 1/2 cup of this filling. I'm just gonna sprinkle this all over this dough. Kind of spread it out a little bit. All right, now it's time to roll it up. So I like to just kind of start right here, give it a nice fold right there, And then take it, kind of pull back on it, and then roll it. Take it, pull back, and roll it. Nice and tight. That is the secret to good cinnamon swirl bread. Then I'm going to take these seams and pinch them together. That'll help your filling to stay inside as best it can. Definitely pinch together the ends. Kind of tuck those in, pinch them together, just like that. Okay, when you have those seams all pinched together in the ends, kind of pat them together a little bit. That'll help it stay together too. And then flip this over because this is going to be the bottom. This will be the top of your loaf. And this looks great. Now it's time to throw it into my loaf pan. I'm going to use one of my very favorite cast iron loaf pans. This is an 8.5 by 4.5 size. I love my cast iron loaf pans. I recommend them to everyone. There's none of those coatings or anything like that to get into our food. I poured about a tablespoon of olive oil into this loaf pan, rubbed it all around with a paper towel, and now it is shiny and it's ready for the dough to go in, and this bread will not stick at all. So I'm going to grab the dough. I'm just going to throw it in this loaf pan. There we go. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with this loaf. Now, since this is our 1 hour cinnamon bread, I'm going to go ahead and throw these loaves right on into the oven. No rise time required. I'm going to let these bake for 32 minutes, and I'll show them to you when I get them out. I usually bake my 1 hour sandwich bread for 28 minutes, but whenever you add filling to your bread, it needs a little bit longer to bake. So I'm going to let these bake for about 30 to 32 minutes, and I'll show them to you when they're ready. All right, y'all, our 1 hour cinnamon swirl bread is fresh out of the oven. It is time to turn it out of these loaf pans. Let's see. Oh, just slid right out of the cast iron. Isn't that so great? When you oil it up, then they just slide right out, no problem at all. Oh, look at this gorgeous loaf of bread. Cinnamon swirl, it looks absolutely wonderful. You get this one out. Now this one burst a little bit, but that's okay. It's gonna taste fantastic. Now, I like to take a little bit of melted butter and just brush it all over the tops of these loaves. That'll give you that pretty shine, give you that really nice buttery taste, and it'll give you softer crusts too. So this is what I like to do. Now for cinnamon swirl bread, it is important that you let it cool pretty well before you cut into it, just so it's not too wet inside and so it totally bakes all the way through. So I'm gonna let these cool off, and then we will cut into these and check out the inside. All right, y'all, look at this beautiful cinnamon swirl bread. We had to get into it. My kids needed a little slice, so I went ahead and sliced into it, and isn't it gorgeous? I'll slice one more piece so you can see inside a little bit farther. Now this cinnamon swirl bread makes the best cinnamon toast, French toast, and just slice it up and eat a little slice. I mean, it is delicious. Look how yummy that looks. It's soft. There's no big gaps between the swirl and the bread. I love it. This is one of my very favorite breads. And this makes a fantastic gift. If you make 2 loaves and you only need 1, definitely give the other one away to someone. Everyone appreciates homemade bread. We've already eaten an entire loaf of cinnamon swirl bread, so I am storing the second loaf in one of my beeswax bread bags. My daughters and I make these together, and they are a great alternative to plastic bags. I'll leave the link below down in the description for this and also for the printable recipe for our 1 hour cinnamon swirl bread. Thanks so much for being here with me on Robin on the Farm. I'll see you next time.
Robin's in the kitchen, dough beneath her hands, wheat from the fields and eggs from her land. Sunlight through the window, a warm golden glow. She's working hard to make that dough. With flour on her apron, loving each need. Ground wheat fresh, sowing her seed. The smell of fresh bread rises in the